Because
Nope, no idea, but
right, we're going by him.
Mr. Warrior, thank you. One random guy just yeah, that's true.
You know, I just started taking, like, if one person in Twitch chat said something, I'll just latch onto him and be like, well, I'm gonna call you out by name, and your honor is now at stake. If it's not the case, it's not on us, it's on Oreo King. But
I just like how you ask in lobby and everyone ignores.
I'm like, are you guys seriously
the
gonna
whole team
ignore
doesn't
me?
want to confirm.
My God. But guys, we're gonna run some videos and get things started. The lobby has finally commenced, so stick around. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Sideline of goal! Lakewood doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Burning! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Final points there! He's still alive! Wait, Roshan gets light! He's got one time! He's got a second! He's taking it! Oh my God! On three! They're all dead!
Welcome back, everybody. Time now for the beginning of the European qualifiers for the Dota 2 Asia Championship. We start things off with Alliance vs Team Tinker. We're here in the winner bracket, 8 teams in Europe fighting it out for that one guaranteed spot at the LAN finals. Second and third, we'll get a chance to go to Shanghai as well, but we'll be playing some wildcard matches. I'm GoDz. Joining me is KotLGuy. Let's get things started, KotLGuy.
Big deal here. Dota Asian Championships. Nearly $1.5 million and quickly on the rise. These players, they're going to be sweating it out. And both these teams, well, they are not rolling with their usual lineups, but they're going to give it a go regardless here. Tinker and Alliance. A lot of things to look out for in this one. We were talking a bit previously about it, but we have some role swaps. EGM's moved to the off lane. They don't have Bulldog with them, which was one of their signature notable players for quite a while, but they're going to try to get it done without them and have also My Nuts coming in, and Nikwa is going to be the stand-in. Nikwa, I tried to look up a bit about. He is from a former team, I believe, Turtle Master, which is a Swedish team, and I guess since then it's done brief stand-in work from what I looked at, but Loda had the impression he really wants to throw together a full Alliance squad that's all Swedish, and he's feeling confident about this, and we'll see how they perform here against Tinker.
I think it's always been a big thing with Alliance, and I mean, you could go back to that Kick Envy win TI. I mean, it was much more about having a team that was fully Swedish, could communicate well, and just play using their mother tongue. Like, that just made them more comfortable, and obviously the results proved themselves. Whether, I mean, as great a player as Envy was, just having that fully Swedish roster has worked in the past, so Loda's like, we want to stick with this, and there was rumors that effing Mab was going to be playing with them for some time, but it just doesn't really seem to fit with what Alliance want to do. So that's where this all-Swedish roster... I like that they're sticking with it. Like, they have the proof that it works, and they're going to keep on making a go with it. Yeah,
the last time Alliance did play was on the 26th of December, and they had a bit of a hot streak. They are coming off of 3 wins. They beat Navi, MYI, and NextKZ in StarLadder, but, you know, obviously they didn't... qualify for StarLadder, unfortunately, but they're looking to make a second going here for Team Tinker. Their last showing was, well, the 16th of December, so it's been quite a while, and that was in Dota Pit, and they went down to Virtus Pro in a best of 3. They went down 1-2, so both teams, you know, a bit of hot and cold as far as past games, and they're looking to come back hard in this one, and opening the draft, Alliance with a first pick Lion has got me a bit percolated. On the other side of Team Tinker, they pick up an AA and Ember Spirit. Very intriguing.
Yeah, not surprised by the Ember Spirits being a kind of top commodity, especially watching a lot of kind of the Eastern teams lately. This has been first pick time and time again, and a hero that just I don't feel has really fallen off. He just does so much without farm, just from getting the levels there. As for the Lion first pick, yeah, this is... I mean, he has received a pretty significant buff with the extra 7 damage, and it doesn't really reveal too much as far as your opening goes, but by no means like okay, that's your top tier support. Normally it's been like the Vengeful Spirit, which has been your first pick if you're first picking a support hero.
Seeing something like that makes me feel like that this Lion is crucial to the lineup they're planning on pulling out here. I think that they might have something in mind. I don't know if teams are already going to be looking to pull out some like back pocket strats this early, but it is a big tournament, and we could see some funny things and some early births of new metas that could be coming into fruition. So I'm curious to see as well what this Lion leads to. But Faceless Void is going to be the follow-up, and nothing really surprising about that. Great core, great offlaner, great setup, of course, with his chrono, regardless of your Ember and how mobile he could be. If he gets caught in the Chronosphere, he's going to be in big trouble. And you already have Lion who can contribute a lot from the outside, and he has plenty of lockdown there. So just well-rounded early start here from Alliance, and we'll have to see where they follow through. I do like that Team Tinker did ban out the Chen. Chen received some really nice buffs in this recent patch, and we really haven't seen a lot of teams really put it together, and Ake's one of the best Chens in the game, so I guess they're a little bit worried that they might consider toying with the Chen here, and they just get rid of it.
Yeah, and the Jug as well, another hero which has kind of become top commodity as far as picks go. This hero's being picked by everyone and anyone, as it is right now. So, I mean, all 4 of these first bans are, you go back a month, they're not being banned, they're hardly being picked apart from maybe the Zeus, which gets picked up by a few teams, like you think VP Polar with DK Phobos, but the other hero is just not really considered pick-worthy until recently. So we're seeing a lot of changing trends here with the Dota 2 teams and their picking style.
That's good. You don't want always the same old stale Dota. And if I was looking at this draft a month ago, I think I was watching a random pub. But we get some new fresh faces here. I'm always excited about it. And yeah, just to kind of echo what you were talking about, specifically about Jug, he is definitely the flavor right now of the month. And I love it. And I said this before, I think yesterday with Martin. Jug is a classic. He's been in Dota for way too long with the same skill set forever, it seems. And it's just more number tweaks. But finally, they have just tweaked those numbers up and up and up enough that people are like, hey, wait a minute, this guy's pretty freaking good. He's got insane base attack timing. So he gets easy CS early on. And his overall right click is just devastating. You put that with the crit buff, buffing up an extra 5%. You want to just get that good old level 1 into it. And then, of course, his ward has always been ridiculous. So more teams are valuing him as a core to put their team on. And I know, like, Fire ran it a lot. Ush played a fantastic Jug for most of the series against Cloud9. And most teams, like you said, have been all about it. But now it's first ban worthy. So here we go.
And so for Alliance, after picking the Void, does give them that ability to ban out one of the obvious counters in the Vengeful Spirit as far as the second bans go, with a Venomancer ban, so nothing too crazy there. The Ogre, this hero was so popular, man. We were going through week after week where it was the 4-head strat, time and time again, Ogre Jakiro. And you're talking about Jug being the current trend, it was the Ogre Jakiro for the longest time ever, but good to see some love still being shown to the Ogre McGee.
Yeah, I mean, even though they did nerf down his casting range for Fire Blast, which I think is fair. I mean, Ogre's a big, fat boy, and he's got melee range. He should just be a melee hero overall, with maybe the exception of Ignite, which I can understand because you have to lob that son of a bitch like down. But Fire Blast, you could just do it from a screen lengths away, it felt like sometimes. Now you kind of have to really be up in their business if you want to get involved. Overall, he's still just as fat and tanky as he was before, and now with Dota how it is and being able to protect and work around these runes, you need some supports who can really bodyguard those runes, and Ogre's one of the best bodyguarders in the game, I'd have to say. Now they fall through and they get another big boy. Tide, going to be the game changer for them, being able to set up with that huge Ravage, and on Alliance, they get a hold of the Troll Warlord. I'm loving it. This
hero, I think, is very, very strong at the moment. Like, I think we're going to be seeing more and more of him. He's really strong as a safe lane farmer especially, and great synergy with the Void. Like, your Void can be kind of sacked in the offlane, not get too much farm, but you give him Battle Trance, and suddenly he's actually doing a decent amount of damage in the mid-game, even with kind of minimal items. So I like the synergy between the Troll and the Void here. I think you want to go for some kind of last pick mid-hero that can also benefit from the Battle Trance attack speed. And to me, this is just a really nice little tanky hero to have on the front lines as well when you're up against like a Tide Ogre. There's a lot of just nuke damage coming out. You need something tanky, and also a natural hero to buy a BKB on.
I really like just the attack speed cap that they buffed recently too, going from 500 to 600, and he contributes a lot from the outside of the Chronosphere, and he certainly adds a lot more attack power to Faceless Void inside of his own sphere, so you put that with the buffs he's already got with it, and I'm really liking the potent synergy lineup we got here from Alliance. I know Loda's not going to be the traditional drafter for the team. It's Pycat, who's currently out, but so far it looks like he's thrown together a respected lineup right here. I mean, you got a little bit of everything. Skywrath Mage, also just kind of the classic peanut butter and jelly right there with him and Faceless Void. Now really all they need to do is round it out with like a nice solid offlaner for EGM, and they're going to be set.
Yeah.
Unless it's Faceless Void, of course.
Yeah, I feel like it may be the Void with the Troll safe lane, but Troll can easily mid here as well. Like this hero is kind of flexible in that sense, where he can mid. You can even to some extent offlane the Troll Warlord. I feel, if that's what you want to go with. But Klinks gets banned up by Tinker. Alliance respond with a Razor Band, so we'll see the last couple of picks coming out here. Tinker, I think, looking for some kind of actual carry. It doesn't have to be like a greedy Medusa-style carry, although I think something like that could still work for them. There's not that much push coming out from Alliance here. You can go late game versus Alliance without that much worry about being pushed down here, and it's going to be just that here. Medusa comes out. So the Stone Gaze against these right clickers is potent.
Yeah, it's very, very good. She gets caught out on the outside, she'll be able to do very nice crowd control work, but that's also a lot of focus on this Medusa to have a great early and mid-game laning phase to be able to build up the farm so she can really be a terror in the late game. So we'll see how aggressive Alliance want to play, being able to prevent her from getting that critical mass point. Alliance can round this one out. If they did want to go off lane, they could always grab the Nyx, and have that little thing going against Medusa.
All right, man,
or if they do want to have Faceless Void in the off lane, they can get Anti-Mage here as the farmer. Go against Medusa, who is still in the pool. So I'm curious if they're going to go for some sort of direct counter of this Medusa, or just kind of continue with their own draft and build on that.
Yeah, I think it definitely has to be something that fits their own draft. When you have this Troll Void, and Invoker is going to be the next kind of added bit of push, I feel. This probably... Oh, Quaswex Invoker, I mean, there we go. That's EMP to deal with Medusa mana shield as well, but if they theoretically want more right-click damage, the Exo Invoker offers a lot of that. So I could see this Invoker swinging both ways if he wants to. I don't think it has to be a Quaswex Invoker for the Medusa necessarily, but I think that's kind of the more logical response to seeing the Medusa.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they value in as far as being able to do overall output of damage, or maybe push, or maybe, direct counter and do Quaswex and crowd control from someone like Medusa. We'll see if that's going to be the case here. Lead things off, of course, with a pause as we finally get into the game and underway. But
it's like
looking forward to this.
You're going to baptize the Dota game with the pause. It's like you're a real Dota game now.
The draft has been done. Everyone breathe. Take it in. Put your wages as far as who you think is going to do what with both of these lineups. And well, GoDz, now seeing the draft. Who you got?
I give an edge to the Tinker draft, ever so slightly. I feel it's a much easier ease of execution is on their side. They've got great space creation for the Medusa to farm. Like their mid-game fight with a tied Ember Spirit, and their rune control is phenomenal as well. Ember Spirit, one of those heroes, once he's level 6, level 7, you cannot go near a rune because of the Fire Rim initiation. Not to mention Ogre. I mean, this was always talked about, went back in the previous patch why this hero was so popular, because you would just get all the runes with this. So I feel Tinker have the chance to dominate the mid game, and that's with a Medusa on their side as well. So I think for Alliance it's a lot trickier for them to pull off their lineup, which I guess is where I give Tinker the edge.
Bulba doing his Potato for Life shout out. That was EGM's alternate name. Oh, he's actually still sporting the name. So yeah, that's EGM playing Potato. I know there's probably some confusion as far as their names and aliases, and of course Leader Tiers is way too sexy, but Bulba and EGM good friends. Now they have to face off against each other, and we'll see how it works out here as we get the game underway.
All right, we'll introduce our two teams. Starting things off on the Radiant side, it is going to be Team Alliance, the Swedish squad, going to have Mr. Potato Head or EGM in the offlane on the Faceless Void. We'll see Nikwa, the stand-in, playing the Invoker, standing in for Pycat, who unfortunately is not available for this series. Loader going to be on the Troll Warlord. We've got My Nuts on the Lion, and then finally the Skywrath Mage being played by Aki for the Team Alliance side.
On your Dire side, we do have Team Tinkerino right here. We have Bulba on your Ogre Magi, who's scouting out the top. Rude doing that bodyguarding we were talking about in the draft. Leader of Tears, or Way Too Sexy, is going to be playing your Ancient Apparition. He's playing your support once more, a role he's very familiar with. Top lane, Sing Sing, playing one of his signatures, the Ember Spirit. Mid lane, it's going to be Qualifier on the Medusa. And finally, off lane, it's going to be Jason, or Arise, playing your Tidehunter.
So not doing the Ember mid, doing the Medusa mid instead. And I think it's because they can actually keep this Void completely zoned out with an Ember Spirit in lane. Medusa doesn't offer any real kill potential, and this means AA can spend more time pulling and stacking perhaps, and Ogre can go get runes, because Ember Spirit alone can do a lot of damage and kind of win the lane against a Void. So an interesting little kind of just tweak to the laning set from Tinker.
Interesting to see also Ake. They're rolling with kind of a dual lane here, at least at the start. He's going to try to get a couple of Arcane Bolts in, and a little bit of harassment onto Qualifier, making his early CS, especially in the first wave or so, a little bit more difficult. Ake's been one of those support players who always loves getting a bit involved.
I love this top lane. Void and Ogre just giving each other like the stare off.
This is like the...
They were actually just both on hold position until this creep wave came along. Just giving each other the eyeballs. And
former teammates just kind of having their stare down as they go into mutual agreement that, hey, Bulba's like, listen, EGM, I love you, but you're going to have to get the hell out of this lane while we try to, you know, get some CS on our Sing Sing friend here.
Round 2. Here we go. They're going to start trading hits this time. This is not fun for the Void.
This is what you do, though, when you're Ogre. Get the hell back. Don't get close enough to get any sort of XP, and something I'm sure EGM was expecting. He'll just try his best to block the creep waves and get that creep equilibrium closer to the tower so he can at least get a little bit of something going for himself.
So Medusa did get some early harass from the Scarith mage, but it seems Scarith has already made way bottom lane, and the supports for the Radiant side going to do what Way 2's doing on the AA, which is just kind of stacking and pulling, getting whatever XP and levels they can, staying off the map as well, so it's kind of always that threat of a smoke gank for the mid heroes, even if the supports are just stacking and pulling. You don't quite know where they are. But 2-minute rune coming up, and this is where we'll see our first little bit of poking in action come out too.
And trying to grill up some potato here with the Ignite. We will be able to time walk right on out of there. But it is going to be Bulba who grabs that bounty rune. So unfortunately for EGM, he makes the trip for nothing at that point. And on the other side, what was grabbed up here? It looks like it was AA. Way 2 grabbed up the other side rune.
Loda not farming too well at bottom lane. He's taking a lot of damage on the creep wave from these pulls and isn't getting exactly perfect CS. I think partly having some issues because of the pulls and having to farm under his tower. Having to use his salve, tangos, so it seems slight edge as far as the carries go, going the way of the dire carry, although with that said, Loda just gets a couple more CS and he's doing okay. Like at the end of the day, he's going to get his boots now and pose a lot of pressure onto Arise's Tidehunter here, who's getting very little, much like the Void's getting very little out of his offlane.
Yeah, he's getting a little more. They're both getting little. I mean, this is what you expect. Both of them going against this try setup right now, but EGM is still trying to get towards level 2 with any sort of CS whatsoever. He's still at 0-0. At least Arise has managed to throw together at least a respectable 3 CS, and he's halfway through level 2, so he's getting a bit more. Plus, he always can fall back on those stacks, which he, I believe, already did once. Yes, he got 1 stack in already. And there's no mud golems or big golems or whatever, so the extra 15% health pool isn't going to matter, so I'm sure he's going to be pretty thankful for that. So Tidehunter is going to have a lot more opportunity in the offlane for now.
Oh yeah.
While EGM is going to look for more in the mid game.
I mean, Void can't really do anything similar to the Tide as far as catching up on farm. Like this Tide is going to actually be able to transition into that kind of utility initiated with the Blink Dagger and whatnot. Bottom lane, they are going to go in for a bit of a gank here. Sunstrike coming into play as well. Arise going to anchor smash Loda. Impale going to clip him at the edge here, but he's still alive. Gets a perfectly timed Kraken Shell. Of all the times for that to come out, that was amazing.
Double rings, baby. The double rings on Tide.
Yeah. Just
soaks up all that damage, eats a tango as well, and they cannot finish it off. Nicely synergized. They had the Invoker Sunstrike right there, but it just wasn't enough. Plus the rotation coming in from Bulba certainly does help, but Alliance will fall short, and we have yet to get our first blood underway.
Does answer the question of the Invoker. I hadn't actually checked in on him, but he is going for the Exalt build this game. And great synergy with the Chronosphere especially. And this means like your Void can have 0 farm as long as he gets level 6. You Chrono, you Sunstrike, you use the Battle Trance from the Troll, and you can get kills on a lot of heroes on the map. So from that point of view, Alliance's lineup is somewhat not exactly requiring farm to get kills on some of these heroes, which normally would need a lot of farm.
Sing Sing has 20 denies on his Ember, just to make things even worse for EGM, as if he's not getting much as it is. Sing Sing makes sure that he's denying. There's another one. He's at 23 now. Absolutely ridiculous. So he's definitely getting the most out of this top lane and taking a lot away there from Face's Void. And
getting some solo XP now, so once he hits level 6, this Void, I don't even think he can stay in the lane anymore. All it takes is a Fire Remnant to follow the Time Walk, and you can chase him down for those kills. Unless Alliance are going to have TPs on their supports to counter gank there, and even then, you TP in, you're not looking to find kills, you're maybe just going to save the Void's life, so it's not even really worth like TPing in multiple supports at that stage. So this is going to be really tricky for Alliance once we see the Ember hit level 6, I feel.
The good thing they do have going for him, Loda now has a free lane to work with here and can get all the CS he wants in this bomb to farm it up. Arise is taking this moment to go to the jungle. There was some pre-stacks right here from to quickly farm up, and then of course the big Ancient stack to work with here. But what is happening over here? It looks like Alliance scouting out. They put down a nice aggressive early ward here,
nice
just above the Roche pit.
Too.
Just they want to see that when Tidehunter goes for those Ancients, they can kind of thwart them, and they even put down a sentry to block it out.
It also gives great vision into this bottom tier 1 tower area. Like if you want to go for a dive on like a Tide when he's actually at the bottom lane. You know when he's there. For one thing, you know when he's there. You know if he's gone back to the jungle, and if he is there, you know if there's heroes kind of waiting in those trees, because there's so many like fog spots in this tree area which you can hide in. So this is like the perfect time to have this ward, and it's not something Tinker are going to quickly be dewarding, I imagine.
Tide also with the 2 rings. I wonder if he's going to turn one of them into Tranquils. Tranquils on Tide, it's a bit outside the box than your normal Tide who loves to go with something like Arcane Boots, just have that extra bit of mana pull for a potential refresher in the future. But
could do the
we'll
double
see.
boots, Funix style Tide with the Tranquils plus Arcanes.
Was that the same game where he like wrecked in the top lane against like 3 people? I want to say. Man, there was
he
like
does that. He does
Tide
that
game.
build a lot. I don't think it's been just one game. He's that's his been his build for a little bit, where he's done it like 3 or 4 times with the double boots. He just really likes the laning stage with Tranquil boots, and then he's like, well, I got mana problems. Let's get some Arcane boots.
Yeah. We saw there earlier. Arise definitely would have been first blood if he didn't have that extra bit of armor right there in the bottom lane. So certainly thankful for the couple of rings he's got. So he continues to farm it on up. Alliance are just going to be on scout watch to see if anyone moves near that ancient pit area. You see Bulba try to do a stack, but it's been prevented. And Loda will continue to now build up from this free lane. He's taken the top of the charts. He's 51 and 27 on his troll. He'll continue to farm it on home.
Is going to go for a Midas, though. So when you look at this game, and it definitely is going to be your team creating a ton of space for you, getting you into the late game. I mean, your late game is impressive with a Refresher Tide. Ember Spirit's great in the mid game. So your mid game's strong enough that Medusa can definitely get away with this Midas build, I feel.
If Alliance don't really begin to go off the rails in the mid game once your Chronosphere is up and they're really kind of synergizing everything with the Troll and of course the Invoker, this could be a long game. We could see a long one here. Now they're making a dive. They're going for Bulba bottom lane. They go the Tomahawks out in the blazing right now, and I think this is going to be first blood, and it is. Ake is going to be the one to pick it up, but it's Alliance who do strike first at about 8 minutes in.
Yeah. They'd kind of set up that kill just from that ward which they planted 2 minutes ago. They know when they go for the push, someone's going to come defend, and often you do send those supports there to leech XP and try to delay a push. Ignite, great for the long range, dragging the creeps off the tower, but they have the vision, they have the ability to wrap around in. Bulba going to TP in, we'll draw the creep wave off. Not exactly a big loss for Tinker, but it does give a big boost of gold the way of the Skywrath Mage.
Though. He's a creeping. He's got that invis, and they're thinking about making a second go here at Bulba.
Possibly just a second kill.
Yeah.
If anyone, no one can really TP in to help Bulba because it's going to be a 4-second TP, so he's going to die very quickly.
And they're busy with their own CS. They can't really move out there to help out their Ogre. So if they make this dive, he could be on his own, and he doesn't really want to go too far. This tower could be a free handover. It's already so low as it is. So, and he wants this time to kind of get his own bit of solo farm. He needs to get his multicast underway. So
AA will TP in and won't be spotted just yet. This ward gives... Okay, now they see AA. And actually, they missed the concussive shot. It catches the AA, but they get Bulba anyways. I was watching like the AA, like, wait, he got concussive shot? That's not the kill you want. But Sing Sing TPing in wants Aki in with the level 4 Flame Guard. He's offering a lot of damage. Now he gets caught in the Chronosphere, but the Flame Guard will bring down Aki inside that. Sing Sing going to have one last Searing Chains, but he's going to go down to a right click from Loda. That's a big kill to be picking up. When that Ember Spirit rotates in, you do not want him dying right off the bat, and Loda getting the kill there gets him a big chunk of gold, and definitely give the edge there to Alliance with the Ember Spirit dying.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't expecting one of their core farmers to rotate down there, but I guess having the AA already there, maybe they felt they could really take this fight. They do manage to get a pick off on their own in return for losing Bulba, but yeah, like you already pointed out, Loda being able to come up with a kill there just makes things so much better for Alliance. So with that, and now a tower very low that they could soonly grab up, it's looking really, really good here in the early game. And EGM did manage to throw together level 6 and just puts it right to use. So we get to see a little bit of that old school Alliance synergy as they just kind of move as a fine unit. He just immediately goes to that bottom lane and gets involved.
It's one of those movements which for Ember Spirit looks so good. Like you TP in, you're like, okay, this is a guaranteed 1 to 2 support kills. He gets the 2 supports, but was not expecting the Void to TP with him bottom lane. At that point, normally if you're a Void, most Voids would just be like, great, the Ember Spirit left, time to finally get some farm in my lane. But EGM's like, nope, this Ember Spirit's a problem, let's shut him down.
So we'll see. Sing Sing looks to bounce back here. He obviously has his phase boots near 1,700 gold built up at this point as he works with this side pull camp. We'll see if he goes right for it. But they still value Bulba getting his own time to build up his own farm as he takes the lane himself. And there you're going to see a Midas for a Midas, if you will. Nequa picks up his own Midas on Invoker.
He's gone back for Quaz Wex, so it was just the one early point in Exort. He had like a 2 Quaz, 1 Exort early on, and even used a Sunstrike at one point, but it is not going to be an Exort. I feel like this is a change of heart. I feel like the initial plan was to go for Exort, and it was either a team decision or a personal decision, but He's like, wait a second, this Medusa is free farming away. We've got no real way to deal with a late game Medusa. The game is definitely going to the late game, it feels, at this stage. Alliance have some push if they went Exort Invoker with Forge Spirits, Necrobooks, and Troll Warlord, but not enough to win the game off of. So it seems he's decided to go Quaswex instead as like a change of heart.
And whether he decided or maybe the team's like, hey, we need Quaswex. What are you doing?
Yeah.
They're like, switch it up, buddy. Nequa is their stand-in after all, so a lot of pressure on this guy. It's, no big deal. It's only a near 1.5 million tournament at this point. So, here we go, top lane. Well, they're getting pretty close with each other, but EGM still being able to find his way. Now near level 8, and he's getting back in it right now. That's what's most crucial. A lot of team fight happening here for Alliance, and as we get about 12 minutes into this one, this is where we're going to probably see some fireworks come out.
Blink Rush for Sing Sing. That is interesting to see something different come out.
Oh my goodness. That is
not a conventional Ember Spirit build. The biggest benefit you get from this is you can use the Blink to engage to get in range for your Flame Guard Searing Chains and have a Fire Remnant to escape to. Because the problem is when you Fire Remnant in, maybe you have another Fire Remnant to Fire Remnant out, but your mana pool as an Ember Spirit, every time you use that Fire Remnant, it's 150 mana. So if you don't really have the mana pool to use it twice in a fight early on. So the Blink just means he can use it for the escape.
Oh, gets caught out immediate. Tornado reaction, but now he is going to be
lose
the
his
one that's
mana.
chained down. Sing Sing trying to slash it home. Okay, certainly helping out. Gets the silence and a few bits of burst, but they'll be fine.
Ice Blast. Ooh, just off the mark. Nico's going to be fine. And Loda showing up.
Tidehunter holding, nursing this Ravage. Doesn't want to pull it out too preemptively before the team is ready to make a go. And we're going to see no blood. Just a bit of harassment here.
All right. Well, take the tier 1 bottom tower some time ago, and Loda's now swung his way mid lane. We're going to take another tier 1 tower. This stage, it's hard for Tinker to fight, even with Tide Ravage online. The Ember Spirit Blink Dagger is kind of designed to at least look to be able to engage and fight into this team. He's got the Blink ready to go. He's got a Fire Ramp to use defensively, but Tornado EMP at this stage against Ember Spirit is really pesky for him. If he gets hit by the EMP, he may not be able to Fire Remnant out. Doesn't have the magic
Blink also
wand.
helps defensively pretty well. With quick reaction, you could avoid a Chronosphere.
Yes.
Or anything else. Here we go. Jump in. AA ult is going to land very nicely. And now they'll be able to quickly burst down Ake.
I don't think he's dying.
Is he going to go down? No, it's only level 1. He lives. They're fine. TT can't pursue.
Yeah, he blinks in, looking for a finish off there. Not going to find it. I feel the one thing Sing maybe wants to pick up soon is the magic wand, just for to have that boost in, like that mana boost in case you get hit by an EMP, but the Blink pickup, I mean, you can see its potency there in the mid lane. Doesn't get kills, but that was partly because he's alone, trying to defend the tower against like 4 heroes by himself, just with the Ice Blast support.
And that's also Alliance gaining that bit of intel like, oh, okay, Sing Sing has a Blink Dagger on an Ember Spirit. Interesting, something to look out for, but we'll
definitely makes
work
Void's life a bit harder as far as hitting a Chronosphere on the Ember Spirit.
Looks like Way 2's going to go for another pull here. It was rewarded, though, from Alliance, so they know this is happening. They're just waiting for that delicious point when Team Tinker consider going for those Ancients, and they're going to try to thwart them.
Yep. Well, we'll see what the plan is going to be from here on out for Alliance. Definitely the team who has more of the greater ability to kind of dictate play right now. They can force towers if they want. They can group up, or if they choose, which it's Loda bottom.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's being scouted out from behind, and they have a smoke coming in from the north. There's that Blink. Jump in on Loda. Immediate close range AA ult. Loda. He's going to be shattered apart and taken down. Nice rotation and execution coming out from Team Tinker there to take down the core troll.
Now, Alliance had smoked up 3 heroes nearby, so you lose Loda there, who they were kind of smoking towards. And these 3 heroes don't want to fight into the Tide Ravage, that's for sure. Though Tide actually a bit short on mana. Arise saving up money, looks to be just rushing a straight Blink Dagger himself as well. No Arcane Boots, no Tranquil Boots, just 2 rings and good old brown booties.
I think they want to follow through with an objective if they can. They've already lost a couple of tier 1s themselves. They'd love to grab a couple of towers, get a little of that extra change in their pocket, but looks like they're not going to be able to follow through. Maybe instead they're going to move towards this mid lane. They still have that Ravage if they want to put the use. Loda shows up. They've already launched out the AA ultimate, which will connect on both. It actually passes through Loda, so it will hit on him. And look at this, Sing Sing's going to blink and go right for Ake, and it's going to be a quick grab.
That is, you just don't see it coming. Like you know if a Fire Remnant's there. Finger of Death and Way 2.
My nuts. Fingers. AA, and they do get their return support kill.
Arise will now start working on this Ancient stack, but a Radiant Ward sees this. Tornado will clip him. Problems now begin. Impale, it's out of range. Buys his Blink, so even if he did go down, he had purchased The big item he was looking for. And they
know.
see this Tide's items. They see he's gone straight, just boots of speed, nothing else, no arcanes, no upgrades. They're expecting this blink to be... Like, they probably would have expected him to have it even by now because of the Ancients that he's been stacking a bit. Or not so much the Ancients, but more the neutral farm, which was not contested.
They'll know by now.
Yeah.
Tinker want to put that blink to use. They smoke up right out from the base, and they're going to make the long run down here to the bottom lane and just try to get a hold of whoever's there. Ideally, the prize target being Loda once more. And
important that they smoked because multiple wards were kind of around this area. There was the one around the Ancients earlier. Uh-oh. My Nuts caught out by Sing Sing. Gets off the Impale, but will burn down to the Flame Guard. And now Loda. He wants out. He doesn't want anything to do with this, but a blink.
He's going to have that blink. Blink chains, man. I'm loving this. Gets the lockdown there on Loda. Fall through. Very nice multi. Going to come out. Volta and the AA ult on top of it. Make it a Ravage, too. Just give him everything. And it's a double kill now for Sing Sing. Team Tinker, man, they're really pulling it on back. 6-4 now for them.
Yeah. The Ember Spirit's ability to tempo control in the mid game is just insane. And the entire time this is going on, KotLGuy, he's level 13. He's got Midas. He's picked up an ultimate orb now. Probably just looking for a Skadi rush. The Lincoln's kind of your original Medusa build as your first item, but it feels like the first item Skadi is just like the slightly stronger build, perhaps. But he's up against so much mana burn with the EMP and the mana drain from Lion this game. It's not going to be fun for him, which is where he does want a lot of farm. He wants to be a good like 3 to 5k net worth ahead of everyone in the game if he wants to be able to fight.
Yeah, Team Tinker are getting a lot done with just the 4 others, and even being able to bring down Loda a couple of times.
He's been spotted here at bottom.
Uh-oh. Dancing in the jungle here.
Who's going on who here? Ogre's actually completely backing off, maybe afraid that Finger of Death is up, but it's still on
here
cooldown.
Comes Sing with that blank. This is trouble for my nuts. But immediate. Oh, nice. 2-man Impale, and here comes Loda. And now the tides have turned, and they take down Sing Sing.
My nuts is going to survive this too. 100 HP, he's fine. Looking for a TP cancel perhaps, but WeiTu will get himself out of there. The Ice Blast, the actual damage missed. He got the Frostbite effect, but he didn't hit the... he didn't get the blast onto the Lion because he turned for the Impale, which is... I mean, something that's kind of hard to calculate for, but that ends up giving Alliance a nice little turnaround on Ember Spirit.
Looks like top lane, they do take down that tier 1. Now they're making the jump. They want KotLGuy here. EGM and the classic combo setup.
This ain't working.
They have enough to burst through that shield. Still living here.
Need a bash. They'll get the
bash. Get it. They pray for RNGesus. Yeah. He comes through. They take down KotLGuy for the first time this game. Now Arise looking to get something on the return here. But here comes my nuts. You'll be able to push them back, and looks like it's going to be a nice takedown there for Alliance, getting rid of KotLGuy. Yeah,
and Niqua's going to be ready to start getting much more involved now. He's just finished off his Orchid in the mid lane. He's 0-0-1. He's not exactly been active on the map. I think it was just a Sunstrike that got him an assist earlier, but level 13. He's kind of playing that similar to Medusa role right now, where it's just get your farm, get a big level and farm advantage over your opponents, but now he's going to fight, whereas Medusa just wants to keep on farming.
We'll see how much they can fight their way through this mid game here. Bulba gonna just casually harass out this mid lane and keep it back a bit as Niqua continues to farm it on up. He has finished his Orchid here on the Quaswex.
Yep.
Orchid Invoker now going to be well underway.
I feel like this is where they either go for a smoke or we see Niqua go for some Ghost Walk rotations, but smoke allows his supports to kind of move around with him. It looks like with Skywrath Aki having one, that's the plan right now. Finger of Death online as well. Very nice time to go for this 3-hero smoke.
Here they go, rotating down the bottom lane. They could end up crossing paths here with WeiTu, and that would be, fortunately, WeiTu in
oh, he's going to reveal this. Oh, he's trying to, is he looking to ward? Oh, he sees the Lion there. They don't know what revealed him.
Wow, no, they're looking around as what the hell's happening here? Is someone invis? What's the deal? But that's just a cheeky play from WeiTu to get down a very nice aggressive ward.
All right, so we'll see. It looks like Alliance can be forced to just fall back to at least a more farming stage right now. Maybe we'll see Niqua go for some solo kills around the map, or even like just he'll ghost walk behind someone, or like ghost walk in front of a Void and have Void follow him up. Because this Void has got a surprisingly large amount of farm. I didn't expect him to be able to catch up and out-farm the Tide. Tide with neutral and ancient stacks, I definitely would have expected him to be either equal with the Void or slightly ahead of the Void, but EGM, he's just been given a lot of space in that top lane to just free farm away, essentially.
Yeah, ever since he made that one rotation to the bottom lane, but ever since then he'd been farming out the top lane, and since then we'd seen Team Tinker go for multiple ganks on the bottom, and EGM's like, I'm going to take this time to farm up, and he was persistent on finding that little bit of me time, and with also grabbing the tower, he does manage to pull himself back into this one. It looks like he's going to go right for a BKB here with Missile Hammer already complete, being able to thwart out, of course, the extra coming in damage from Ravage and anything else. I don't know, unless it could be a Maelstrom. This is EGM, after all, now in the off lane. We'll see what style of Faceless Void he wants to play.
Yeah. It feels like BKB is the more stable way to go, but... Maelstrom,
But then again,
the damage
we
is
got a
nice.
Blink Dagger on Ember. We got the back pocket work coming out here. You never really know.
Alright, Loda going to lead the charge down mid. Has a completed Sanjin Yasha and going to go back towards that BKB as his next item. And for Team Tinker, a lot of this is going to be protect the Medusa for late game. It has gone for the Lincoln, so... I don't feel like you can fight and 5-man around the Lincolns too well. That's where like the Skadi actually allows you to fight around the 20 to 25 minute mark with Medusa. But this means Tinker just want to go super late game, it feels like. Sing's work on a Battle Fury to help them turtle, and they're not looking to end or win this game anytime soon. They're just looking to make sure they can hold on to their towers as long as possible. Alliance probably going to get Roshan off of this if they want to go for that, and Tinker just going to have to try and just kind of cut their losses over the next few minutes.
I agree. This is the classic we like to see, where this is step 2 of Medusa's 5-step program before she really wants to really get involved here. Bottom lane, my nuts does get that Invis rune, and we'll be fine.
Good time to find
now.
an Invis.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that.
That was a smoke gank too from Tinker, so...
Oh boy. So that smoke going to be thwarted as they scramble back towards the mid lane, while Alliance still continue to push out this top. EGM, man, continues to find that farm.
They are spotted is the important thing here, so... Should not see any kind of a 2-hero kill on Medusa. They can kill the Medusa with these 2 heroes, but not going to happen with the ward vision.
They're committing a lot up here. There's a lot of Team Tinker up in this top lane. Maybe thinking that eventually they'll make a swell of a push here. They have that tier 1 here to still grab, so maybe they'll just follow through with that, and Alliance will just take this time to continue to farm it on up. And as Loda builds closer and closer towards this BKB, do you think after he grabs that, that could be the breaking point for Alliance to really take it to Tinker and be like, listen, we know we're going to have a window of time where we want to be able to really push it and prevent Quake from being able to get to that critical mass?
I think that's the time where they take Roshan and then get multiple tier 2 towers. Like, I don't see them being able to break through Tinker and win the game off of the BKB for Troll, but it should be able to secure them a Roshan, and Aegis then subsequently Aegis secures them a tier 2 tower. That's assuming everything goes according to plan, which Tinker will be looking to kind of mess things up there, but I don't think Tinker have the best line to contest Roshan with. It's kind of hard to get Medusa in a good position for a Stone Gaze.
Multiple rotations. They want to go for my nuts. As he tried to get a tower, he just throws out a finger. It's not going to do a lot through the Flame Guard, but here comes Loda here. Now Sing is going to be forced to remnant himself out of there, but Bulba still wants to get in fisticuffs. Now he steps back. Oh, they fake once, but the silence is right there from Ake.
Tick, tick, tick. Down goes your lion.
You drop my nuts, but just a support, and it forces Tinker away from that top lane where they're going to try to push that tier 1 and address the bottom.
Yeah. Well, with the DD room picked up, they're not even going to wait for the Troll BKB. They're going to go in now, and seems like as good a time as any.
Yeah, this is going to be a great, easy, quick grab for them. No problem. Loda's going to pocket that Aegis, and now the ball's in Alliance's court. Like you said, they can continue to push forward, take a couple of tier 2s. With that comes a new swell of gold. They can get those big luxury items as far as right-click and damage to contest the Titan of Medusa. So imagine that's the game plan for Alliance.
It seems like Alliance don't feel like they're in any rush to win this game, although they obviously want to keep on pulling as far ahead as they can. They've currently got about a 3,000 to 4,000 net worth lead, but they're probably thinking like late game, we've got a lot of mana drain from the EMP and the mana drain itself to deal with the Medusa. Ember Spirit's gone this Blink build, so it's has slowing down his farm and item progression. He's going to go back for the Battle Fury, which will then accelerate his farm a bit. It looks like he's just finished the Battle Fury now, but I think late game, both teams have their options. I don't think it's like, okay, Medusa wins the late game. I think for Alliance, Invoker, Void, Troll offers a lot in itself, and I'd even maybe give Alliance a slight edge in a late game scenario.
They do feel a little bit more well-rounded, as opposed to just kind of putting a lot in the back of this Medusa, at least before Sing Sing's able to throw together a bit more. He does have his Battle Fury now, so his farm can accelerate a lot more. And we'll see if he'll be able to kind of be there by the side of Qualifier in the later game. But
if Tide had this Void level of farm, I think things would be a lot more even, but right now this Tide is not looking at any kind of a decent time on a refresher. He's going to have a 4-staff soon, but refresher is a good, like another 15 minutes away, if that. It's not going to be some like 30-minute Tide refresher on a good day.
I do want to say also on the other side for Alliance and Nikwa's Invoker, it's felt like he's been pretty inactive, to be honest. He's 0-0-1. He's been farming a lot. He got his Orchid, but we have yet to really see him flex those muscles.
He's got max Wex and everything. He's he's tried. Like he's gone for smoke ganks with his team, like the one on the Lion not succeeding. But yeah, it definitely feels like even just like TP counter ganks could have maybe come out of him from time to time. But he's still going to offer a ton in the late game. It's just maybe Alliance could be in a slightly better position with more kill involvement right now.
Oh, Blink Dagger will help get you in a good position for kill involvement. As the Invoker grabs one up now, they move as a full unit to this top lane, but unfortunately there's no one on Tinker in sight. So maybe after they scout out the woods, they could just push out this tier 2 in the top and go for a trade. But no, they rotate all the way towards this mid lane. Alliance, if they want to go for some sort of objective trading, they definitely have the benefit of Troll being there, but I think they want blood. They are blitzing towards this bottom lane where they have already done the deduction, like, okay, Tinker's not top, they're not in their woods, they're not over here, they got to be down here, and Loda's heading right there.
They're not about trading right now. They're so desperate for a fight right now, and I think with good reason. Any kind of a Chronosphere is going to be a kill, and that's where Aki and EGM didn't actually swing all the way bottom. They're still lurking around this mid-jungle area, hoping for a Mystic Flare Chronosphere combo, but not going to come the way of Alliance. Still, Alliance get the lanes kind of pushed out, get Tinker out of their jungle, and now can go for that objective, which is the tier 2 tower, without having to worry about a trade.
Yeah. Now they decide, well, we'll add some pressure. They're trying to take fights and make fights happen while they have this Aegis, but if Tinker are going to hide, they're going to force them out of the dark and try to push towards some of these towers, but Tinker are not biting. Not as yet. More of that. We're happy to kind of sacrifice maybe a tower here and there. We want our precious KotLGuy to be the nuisance that he can be, so we'll just have to play patient, and they might just wait all the way till this Aegis does expire.
Yeah. Loda may actually... This is kind of... Any damage on top of this Ice Blast could cause him problems, but Ember Spirit not in range. Actually at top lane. Ember gets a tier 1 tower, so tier 1 for tier 2. As good as it gets right now for Tinker. I think they're perfectly fine with that exchange, considering Loda has an Aegis, and Alliance are going to be forced back now with Loda as low as he is on HP. He does get a bottle for his DD, but he can't really make much use of this considering how low he is right now. Maybe he dies with the Aegis and then tries to come back with it, but...
Way too decent to get out of here. He's trying to find some soul farm so he can get that Agnum Scepter, but...
Goodbye Aegis. Alright. That was...
Let's just feed himself over to some creeps.
It was the Sing Sing Ember Spirit, but he thought Sing Sing had left top lane, and Sing Sing just... It was funny because Sing Sing didn't even see Loda. He used a Slider Fist on creeps, and Loda like walked into it and died.
And only had like 40 seconds left, so I guess it works out for Loda.
not even a... I don't even think you can... That's not even a wasted Aegis. They weren't going to be pushing in that 40 seconds, so...
Works out good for them, and Ake is going to be able to deny out that tower, taking away that gold from Tinker. So.
They may want to fight with this Troll DD rune. DD runes at this stage, when they're bottled up, can give you a huge edge in a team fight.
It's just this is going to go off the rails pretty damn quick. It's been a molasses of a game up till here. Very slow pace. Both teams playing it very methodically, trying to build up the appropriate amount of farm before they're ready to really clash. Yeah, Alliance has been trying to look to take some fights, but it's becoming pretty apparent that both these teams are just going to end up going into reserve, and then when we're going to really see the fights break out, everyone's going to be at full point, and it could be over with one big fight in this kind of a game. After they build it up for so long, it only takes one big sweep, and without the invested gold into maybe a quick buyback, they could lose a base just like that. So
you can see just how much is on the line here. Like the qualifier for what is currently a $1.5 million tournament, what's still growing to be probably $2 million plus. This is just game one of a best of 3 in the European qualifiers, and these teams are gonna give it their all here. This is, even with these kind of new mixed rosters and whatnot, this is serious business. This is not like your BO1 qualifier round robin games where teams will just do an experimental draft here or there. Every single game has implications.
Yeah, they need to double, triple think any sort of executing plan here. Like Alliance right now, scouting out mid. You have to make sure it's the right time to go. They want KotLGuy jump in. Lincoln's going to be popped. The silence is there. EMP with that stun will connect. Ravage to fall through, and now Bulba moving in gets a very nice 3x multi. With now the Stone Gate is going to be popped. He's going to be forced to retreat, but here comes Potato. Drops down a big Chronosphere, catches 4. Now they're able to quickly wipe out Sing Sing. EGM is going to be forced to step back. It's a 1-for-1. They could lose 2 here. He's waiting 1 more second for the time walk. We'll be able to go to the high ground, immediate TP, and he should get out just fine. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade that certainly goes for Alliance. They're taking down Sing Sing.
All of that build up and we get a 1-for-1 trade. What is this KotLGuy, man?
Not enough. I want more.
You even had like we had a 3-4 hero Chronosphere, a 3 hero Ravage and everything, but we got a 1-for-1. Loader, I mean, it was tough. It was like a melee range Ravage, so he doesn't want to use his BKB because it gets rid of the DD rune. So you look at that and say, well, Loader, he could have BKB'd to go for that kill, but I don't think he gets it because he needed the DD damage. And then if he BKBs, well, sure, he doesn't get hit by the Ravage, but I don't think... Maybe it goes a bit better for Alliance, but you don't want to use the BKB because you get so much out of that DD rune.
Because you don't use the BKB, though, you do take a lot of extra damage.
Yeah.
Not really in
he almost died
shape.
there. That looked very
he can't do anything
dicey
with the
for him.
Chrono to help out, so it's more EGM just kind of there, and Ake certainly helps with the Mystic Flare. They do take down Sing Sing. Had Loda had more life to work with, he could have been there, bring out the extra bit of right click, but they do still get the most out of it, but maybe not the bloodshed we were hoping for. Still a long game ahead. Oh,
bash.
Potato! Does he get the bash? Oh, he does not.
He got like
Two
he
good
got
strikes
3
there,
right
but it's
clicks
not
off there.
enough to stop.
Way too is just having some luck in this enemy jungle. First revealing the smoke gank, now no bashes there.
He pings out. He knows that he was there to ward, so I think they're going to quickly grab up a sentry.
It's that same ward spot more or less as last time.
And oh man, this is... I'm actually feeling how tense this game is right now for both these guys.
Oh, man.
I
look up and I'm like, wow, there's only been 15 kills in 32 minutes, but it's just this constant just pressure, and like you say, you can just feel the tension here as far as what this means.
Yeah. So, Alliance feeling pretty confident that they can draw a fight their way. They even pull out the ultimate here. Good spread. They're all going to get hit from that Ice Blast. Only Loda's going to take... He's also going to grab that tier 2. More of Team Tinker happy to maybe make a trade. The best case scenario, if not, they'll just step back and wash their hands of it and wait.
Lane. TPs are coming. You need to get that Blink Hex here before Sing Sing can blink, though. And Sing Sing's actually now got a BKB. As does the Void. So these late game items are starting to come out, and we're gonna... I see this game getting to that kind of crazy 50-minute double Ravage, Refresher Chronosphere kind of stage of the game. Invoker's got an Ag Scepter, so expect to see Nikwa not just using his Quasi-Wex spells. He's going to go back for like the Deafening Blast, less so the Meteor, but more like, yeah, Deafening Blast, Ice Wall, these kind of pesky teamfight spells to go with his Tornado EMP, and late game's going to get crazy.
It certainly is. Let's look at Qualifier here. So he already has his 2 ultimate orbs, getting pretty dang close to putting together the Scotty, and that's when Medusa is just too big, too beefy, and they're going to really have to bank that they can have everyone ready to go. No more situations where they're taking too much damage and they have to step off and kind of have a half-committed fight. You need to make sure that when you make a jump onto Qualifier, you have everything in your arsenal to make sure you bring down a beast like that. Or, I mean, I don't know. GoDz, what do you think? If you're looking at a Titan like Medusa, do you look to wipe out her whole foundation, everything behind her, and then go for her next? Or is it more crucial to try to take her out first?
Nah, I think you definitely ignore Medusa. Just looking at Medusa's items, it's purely defensive items, which I think is a pretty standard thing to do in Medusa, but the other heroes, kind of the make or break ones, if you can get a Chronosphere main target is Ember Spirit. Every single Chronosphere EGM is going to be looking for Sing Sing, if he can get him. That to me will win Alliance the team fight. Like that fight that happened mid, if Alliance hadn't taken so much damage during the Ravage onto the Troll and the Lion, they would have gotten like a 3-for-1, 4-for-1 kind of trade there. It's just they couldn't re-engage because even the Invoker was down to like 200 HP. They had 3 heroes like sitting on 200, 300 HP, but once Sing Sing's dead, I feel Tinker lose out on so much utility in a team fight that Medusa just isn't doing enough damage. We'll go for a Skadi next. I mean, I think Medusa's itemizing fine, but it's just the nature of this hero where you need so much farm to do a lot, and the rest of the Tinker draft isn't have some burst damage here and there, like especially when Ogre gets an Ag Scepter, but it doesn't feel like enough, especially when an Ember Spirit's dead.
Both these teams, it's becoming pretty apparent that it's just going to come down to proper execution, especially as far as initiation goes. You're going to soon have a double Ravage Tidehunter here to work with. If he's able to jump in there and set the stage for a great Ice Blast into a huge cleave, and of course Qualifier going off the rails, then that could just be devastating for them. And on Alliance's side with of course proper Chronosphere, just goes the other way. So
Yeah. It's like 5 blinks in the game, so these blink initiations end up kind of deciding things more so that it's not even about who's like the better late game, who's the better team fight. It's who gets the better initiation.
I don't know what's happening, but he just screamed lag and left.
Such a vivid description. I'm picturing Nico there, sitting at home by his PC and just screaming and panicking. Like this is his moment to shine. He's standing in for Alliance in a $1.5 million tournament and suddenly panic.
Well, hopefully he gets back in square to one. I know we've had a bit of delays up to this point, but we'll get fresh and funky underway, sure enough. So game was, of course, odds pretty much split down the middle for this one. Maybe a slight edge for Alliance. And
I think it was a bigger edge towards Alliance, but then word got out that PyCat would not be playing. I think it was like 65% Alliance, but since PyCat can't play, it's gone much more even spread between the two teams.
no Pedro, no Melk,
No Pedro.
fortunately, but
Well,
they will have him. I think they said the next best of 3.
yeah.
Whether it's still in the winners bracket or not, they should be in full Alliance force. And they have said, or at least Kelly, the manager of Alliance, has said that they're hoping that with PyCat, that's like going to be their stable Alliance lineup all the way through to TI5 potentially, if they of course make it there. Bulldog is going to be out from competitive play. I think it was said he's looking to potentially try to rekindle his love for competitive Dota. He's just kind of doing his stream thing for now. But Alliance are hoping that this roster is going to be something that can take them all the way. And I have to imagine that Team Tinker are hoping more for the same. They've been kind of out of their element for quite a while. They really haven't had their last official match for almost a month. And I'm sure with a win here of Alliance could certainly boost their confidence and certainly boost the confidence of a lot of Team Tinker fans out there.
And Tinker's been one of those teams who's been very quiet throughout all the roster reshuffle. Like, I mean, here they are playing with a slightly new roster, but it doesn't feel like with Alliance, it's constantly like, we're looking for that new team. Like, they're constantly like reassuring their fans, like, we've got a new stable roster coming. But for Tinker, it's just been very just hush. And, like, you don't know what's happening with this team. Are they going to come back with this new strong roster? I mean, they've got incredible talent in players like Qualifier and Bulba and Sing Sing, who make like a really nice like core of 3 players there. Even, I mean, Bulba not playing a core hero, but just seems to be like one of the stable members. But if they can find those last kind of 2 members, whether that's going to remain Arise and Way 2, we'll have to wait and see. It still could be a top tier team.
Absolutely. I mean, you could tell, and just from when I met a couple of these guys and stuff, that they love this game. They love playing this game. They want to win. They want to be able to be with a group of people who love the game as much and can get along and synergize. And it was there for a while. I mean, you got to remember when Team Tinker first formed, man, they were on a tear. They were winning everything. Wasn't it me and you who also casted that show match, the first, I want to say ARDM, like competitive match where they went against Hellraisers. They won that one, and they were just like actually doing a lot of top performances, and then it just kind of slowly fell off a bit, and they're looking still to bounce back.
Hopefully good things to come for all these teams. Although, unfortunately, they can't all win the qualifiers, Dakota. It's terrible.
No, certainly not. But, you know, good thing for Europe is that 3 teams get to make it to Shanghai, so that's pretty
definitely
good.
feels like, I mean, pop up the brackets quickly, you can see some of the teams we're talking about who's playing. Who's to look out for is definitely the CIS teams. They've been the more consistent teams. They're the teams in the best form. VP Polar especially. Illidan and DK Phobos as that 1-2 combo has been phenomenal. Empire as well. They haven't been playing as many tournaments as the 2 VP teams, but the tournaments they've been playing, they've been winning and even beating those VP squads. Like there was the eSportal tournament we cast where they beat VP Polar 3-2 in the grand finals there in the BO5. So Empire VP Polar, that's a first round matchup, and that to me is, I would say, almost the two teams in the best form right now in this qualifier.
We get the pleasure of seeing it right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a double elimination, so no one's getting eliminated, but having to go through the lower bracket from the first round, that's a lot of extra matches, and every match suddenly has a lot more pressure on you when you're in that lower bracket, so we'll see. Then you have like your Na'Vi, who knows which Na'Vi's showing up any given Sunday, but all 8 of these teams, I mean, well deserving of their spot here and do have the potential for a lot of upsets. I mean, your Power Rangers, the Upset Kings, we'll see what more they can do here, perhaps. All right, game back underway, though.
Let's do it. So, where we left off, it's been pretty tense. Very slow-paced, methodical game. Both teams obviously taking this one very serious and putting a lot into their late game, especially Team Tinker. We've seen them sacrifice multiple towers without really putting up much of a defense, maybe just a trade if they can get it, but overall, they're looking for Qualifier to really be the mythical beast that Medusa really is. But now, kind of moving together here towards this bottom lane. This might be the time when we could see Team Tinker go back on the offensive since their early game ambush on the Loda.
Yeah. Tide is going to pick up his refresher before there's any kind of like Void refresher, perhaps. Assuming Void goes that build. There's other builds you can go. Against Medusa, there was the somewhat niche build where you go like Diffusal Manta for the extra mana burn, but I feel like they've got enough mana drain. Chronosphere alone can set up like the Lion to do a long mana drain. Level 4, 120 mana per second. That's where I feel going for Refresher is going to be probably EGM's next item. He doesn't actually need to complement his item build by getting more damage. Maybe he goes to the Mjolnir, but definitely does not feel like he has to go pure damage here. The Refresher just offers so much more.
Oh. They see Sing. They know they put the Remnant there in the pit. Loda's been scouting him out with the Invis and My Nuts. Blinked up to the high ground. There's the Hex. He's going to connect. Tomahawk's flying out. And the Finger. They do burst down. Sing very quickly. Nice pick right there for Alliance.
Yeah, and you can see there, Tinker just have no vision up on the map. They see nothing. The gem on the line has dewarded most of the map, and perfect timing. Roshan respawns as they find the key pickoff on the Ember Spirit.
So they'll be able to quickly go for this one. They know it's happening. Waitsu's even going to throw out the preemptive ball. Shoots out the J, but that's not going to be enough to prevent them from getting the job done, especially without Sing being there. And it's obvious they really don't want to take a fight. I thought maybe they wanted to move to the bottom lane to take a fight, but the second they saw the tornado, they're like, guys, we got to go. They pulled out like 3 TPs, and they want to get that refresher on Tide before they make a real big engagement. But now Alliance, once again, going to pick up Aegis, and now it's their time to decide the pace of the game when they want to really make a big assault push, having that extra life. And
yeah, it feels like Tinker are going to have to become the Turtle Masters themselves this game. They're just going to have to stay on that high ground, try scare Alliance away with that frontline Medusa, the Battle Fury Ember Spirit. If Tide can finish off a refresher, that's always a big scare as well, because BKBs only do so much. If Tide gets that blink kind of melee range Ravage off on someone like a Void, you can kill the Void before he BKBs.
So here we'll see Alliance. They draw out the plan. They want to make a push from the bottom here with Ake leading out the front for now. Loda, though, not part of this yet. He's up in the top lane. And, very close to a rise. Doesn't even know it. And he'll just farm out this top lane in the meantime and allow the other 4 to kind of get their own work done.
Yeah. Tinker, it's so hard. They've got no scouting tools apart from like an electric vortex right now. No vision up on the map and making things very difficult to leave their base. Chronosphere comes out bottom lane. Qualifier doesn't have the Stone Gaze just yet. Can use it soon. Ravage going to come out now, but EGM BKB's off. He still wants Qualifier. 1 or 2 more right clicks will finish him off, but Qualifier 50 HP. He's still alive and 3 are dead on the Alliance side. Fighting without the Troll Warlord proves to be a disaster for them. That is the Medusa. That is the power of this item build. You don't go down.
They were feeling confident maybe that because Invoker caught a rise with an EMP, maybe he wouldn't have much mana to work with on getting involved, but he has Arcane Boots. He did have the Arcane Boots at the ready, so he just comes right back in, even though EGM made the call to make the jump in with the Chrono. I think, like you said, not having Troll, it's just not enough.
I mean, the Tide's mana pool easily sustains a single Ravage, even if he gets hit by an EMP.
Absolutely assaults way to the bottom lane. Even misses Tomahawks, but now he could be in trouble. Oh, no, never mind. Holy moly. Arise eating a wave of damage right here. He's not going to get away. Ooh. Oh, no, he will maybe. He blinks and TP's out.
Yeah. Loda could have maybe held his blink a bit longer there. Meanwhile, top lane, Nikwa goes invis. The Stone Gaze even coming out here. They have got vision on Bulba. He's got the gem now. He's stolen that gem from the line, and Nikwa needs to throw something. Deafening Blast, anything. He's going to EMP and get brought down there. Didn't really have too many options.
Really
That's a big pick
This is Boots of Travel. Loda, look at this. He's coming in to flank them from the front, and he's going right for Bulba. Not much more mana to work with. He's just going to start laying it in. Bulba should be able to drop here, and then they could turn their attention towards Qualifier. With already low mana, Lincoln's going to be popped, and now they go on their charge. Sing shows up, and he's like, I can't help you. Throws out the brief sleight of fist, and he'll get out of there. Nice jumping from Loda. He just buys Boots of Travel, and he's like, I'm ready to party.
Well, that's a good bounce back, as that bottom 3-for-nothing trade was a catastrophe for them, but still showing some composure here to kind of get a nice little trade as they bounce back. The Medusa kill especially going to work well in their favor, but we'll see. Arise, caught out, Chronosphere, Minot's blinked into it. Tide should still be going down here, cannot find the blink out. The 4-staff not even going to get used as well, so nice pick off there, though. It does Cost them a Chronosphere cooldown, but Alliance team ready to go high ground with Aegis still in hand. Still has a good minute and a half left on the Aegis as well.
And he's got 4.4k. Loda is rich.
I think
they just
Medusa may need
assault
to buy
the high
back.
ground. He hasn't popped this ult yet. He's waiting, I guess, for the glyph. And then he could quickly throw out the ultimate. There it is. And that tier 3 just melts like Loda. Now they're going to go right for the racks here. This is Team Tinker. They need to defend, and they will. BKB going to be popped. They're trying to get out with what they've got already, but Team Tinker don't want that. They're waiting out for the silence to pop off, but they're still going to get kills. They might even need to use this Ravage. They'll get a couple of quick grabs.
Yep.
Alliance walk away with the tier 3, and Tinker get what they want.
Yeah, that's good for Alliance. So even losing those 2 heroes at the end it was 2 buybacks for 2 hero kills, essentially. When you use those buybacks, Tinker have to get kills. If Tinker buy back and defend their Raxes without getting a single kill, it's really bad for them. That's a terrible trade. So they had to get those kills, but it's the Void, the only kind of core hero they killed off there, I feel, isn't really enough to make it a good trade. At the end of the day, they still had to do it. If they lose Rax at this point of the game, it's really bad for them.
We'll have to see what the game plan's going to be. They smoke up here. They still have the Ravage to use. No refresher yet.
That buyback
Rise has been
hurts.
brought down a couple of times and has lost a bit of gold. And they're not going to wait.
I think
like
just
they're going
even
to.
finding a solo kill right now, like using a Ravage or whatever it may be, they're looking to just turtle and try farm up that refresher. And looks like
Will
may
they find my nuts?
Lion?
They will. Jump in. Chain him up here, but here we go. Loda jumps right in.
Oh.
Ravage not going to help on Loda, but they are able to still burst down. Lion now. Loda seeing if he can get someone on the way out. The Rise here going to be slowed down. Deafening Blast. And they'll drop. And the gem will too. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade that definitely works out. They don't see the gem, but they're going to keep moving, see if they can get another kill. They can't.
Surprised he went for that Ravage. The Lion was dying anyways, and Loda with a pretty straightforward
Walking past
BKB
the
there.
gem, they still haven't seen it, I guess.
Now Loda has finished off an MKB, so definitely not. Probably going to see probably not seeing a butterfly from Medusa. I mean, you can still get the evasion against someone like a Void, but Void can happily pick up an MKB as well. He's managed to stockpile up 2k gold, and hey, round 2 of Rax, no Ravage for a good 100 seconds here, and that's where that Ravage being used is really costly for Tinker.
Yeah. No glyph, troll ult ready. This could be your Rax here, but very nice AA ult. Does land on 3. Chrono going to be there. They catch 2.
Going for the Rax
going
in
to
the
drop on top
Chronosphere.
of Bulba, but he's a big boy. He does soak it up. Your 1 Rax will drop. Loda could go down as well, and will. It's going to be a killing spree for Sing Sing getting that one, and they want more. Link forward back, and Sing Sing is on the high ground. Stuck.
Use that Firement a bit, or either misplaced it or used it a bit too early, but that Ice Blast did a lot of damage there, and Loda's BKB was on cooldown from the previous fight, so they lose
Gem's
just to
still
range
here.
Rax. Maybe, I mean, it was a weird Chronosphere, because he Chronosphered and was like, I can't really kill anyone in this, I guess I'll just take your range Rax, but
He's going to see this gem.
Medusa, your illusion, surely.
This gem. It's just, they all walk past it. No big deal. All right.
I think Bulba's coming for it now. Yeah.
Hey, look what's still here. Nice.
All right, free gem, no problem.
It's got an Agnums too. Pretty farmed.
And Tide has his refresher, so a range
Right.
Rax there, like defending without Ravage, and now your next hold, like you're gonna have double Ravage. You've got Lotus BKB getting shorter and shorter. It's down to 6 seconds, and Qualifier has picked up a Talisman of... He didn't have buyback, and he was like, this could be the last fight of the game there, so he was just like, what do I buy? Talisman of Evasion, good against the Void. I don't even know if he'd seen the Troll's MKB, but I don't know if he finishes off the full butterfly here. He may look to go for some actual, more physical right-click damage from like an MKB, the Rapier even at this stage. He's tanky enough that... I mean, they're not in a super desperate position, but it's definitely not looking fantastic for Tinker.
No. I mean, what certainly helps is getting that refresher. Plus, Way 2 does have that Agnum Scepter now. So we saw the damage that the Ice Blast could do in the mid lane. Now it's that much more devastating.
Nick, we're going to DC again. This time, it doesn't sound like there was any screaming and panic this time, though. At least, not as of yet described by Loda. So.
He's probably pretty upset. I'd imagine, at least Nikwa.
We'll see how things progress from here on out. Looking at some of the graphs here, this has not been much more than a 5,000 net worth lead for the entire
XP
43
is, like,
minutes of
pretty
gameplay.
even.
Yeah, experience dead even. I mean, at this point, a 4k net worth lead is nothing really much. Nothing to write home about, at least. So, things still very much in the balance, and I feel like that range racks was not a big claim for Alliance. If they got the double racks there, or even the melee one, it would have been a lot of added pressure, but the range racks I just don't feel is going to change the flow of the game too much here.
Singh has his Crystalist, so the crit getting ready to come underway, and I have to agree with what he said before. The late game potential is the longer this goes, and if the farm is going to be relatively even or not that far distant from each other, they have that rapier factor always on their side. So the ceiling is very, very high for a team like Tinker in this one, while Alliance, they're looking to bank off big objective gaming after coming on top of a good pick, which they found plenty of picks this game, and we saw the siege damage they can do. They want a lot more of that.
Rise will have some mana problems with this Refresher ultimate. Just the Refresher double ulti is going to cost him over 1,000 mana. He can use Arcane Boots twice, so we can Ravage once, Arcane Boots, Refresh, and Ravage again, and still have like a second Arcane Boot, so we can use a Gush or an Anchor Smash is really important in team fights. You can get that on a Troll in BKB. That's a huge amount of damage reduction, so you don't want to just have double Ravage. You need to have Anchor Smash. Gush is some good physical damage amplification.
So you have
to be very cautious.
So put that through as execution here. You're a Tide Hunter. It's a big deal tournament, mind you. Nerves are there, I'm sure, as they have this new team. He has to jump in, Ravage, Anchor Smash, Arcane Boot, Refresh, next Arcanes, maybe another Anchor Smash, then a Ravage. It's a lot. You have to make sure you execute it all properly.
And when he's going for that double Ravage, like he's maybe not even like maybe he's thinking now like when I do my combo, I want to Arcanes before I refresh, so I get double Arcanes. But in the heat of a team fight, when you're looking to execute that combo, you're not thinking about getting off your double Arcanes. You're thinking about getting that perfectly timed, well-placed first Ravage, and then after that, who knows what happens? You're thinking, let's get my second Ravage off now. You're not thinking like, okay, got a second Arcane Boots. There's no, you got to think fast and
while dodging, like dodging a Chrono, dodging out anything Lines bringing forward. The silence,
EMP mana drain. If he gets hit by any sort of mana drain here, he's in trouble.
The EMP, oh my goodness.
He's got this. I don't know if he just bought this circle. I wonder what he's going with this. Like, let's get some null tallies or something.
This looks
like,
pretty.
Yeah, just wanted a nice little necklace to go with his anchor.
Be the reliable null, just to have that bit of extra mana.
He's got the Wheel of Fortitude. This I don't know. I'm not convinced about the Wheel of Fortitude choice.
Oh, for the cosmetic?
Yeah. I like the harpoon though. I'm a fan of the Tide Harpoon.
All right. Yes, back underway. Looks like our friend the Invoker has gotten back into it. He's been suffering from a bit of internet issues, but lots of patience coming out from both sides as we'll get back and underway. So it's getting to that point, the breaking point here, about 43 minutes into this one. Itemization is near completion. We're hoping at this point we're going to see some real bloodshed.
Oh yeah. And I think for one, without so many heroes don't have buyback right now, and that's where I feel Alliance are not going to make take any big chance. Like pushing high ground into Refresher Ravage if you don't have buybacks is just like seems silly. So I think we are going to see this game kind of progress towards the next Roshan being the kind of maybe something Tinker look to contest. It could just be Alliance take next Roshan, and then the next fight's going to be when Alliance try break high ground with Aegis.
It's a cheese Rosh too. It's a big one.
Yeah.
But at this point, find a way to squeeze a cheese onto, I don't know, maybe a Medusa or whoever. That's a game changer.
I mean, that's Tinker would have to get the Roshan, which I feel is a big ask right now.
Yeah. We'll see. They have a lot more to work with this time to put up contention. They already dropped the Remnant, just kind of scouted about. Of course, with Alliance's ward there, they know what the game plan exactly is. Yeah. They see that, they'll take it down.
That's key right now, denying whatever vision you can. And this was the Lion's gem. I don't think there's been a new gem pickup since from the Radiant side. So
no, they dropped that. Tinker got that gem after it was dropped from Lion, then they dropped it. No one from Alliance grabbed it. He got back and picked it up himself.
I mean, it's been. You look at like who's got vision control right now. There's 2 dire wards on the map, and just the one recently planted Alliance ward. 15 minutes ago, when Alliance were taking Roshan, they had the gem on the line. They had complete map control. There was 0 wards for Tinker. So the tide's really turned as far as who has the map control advantage, and just general vision around the map. Ogre, if he just walks up this hill, we'll see this only Alliance ward as well. Well, actually, no, Alliance have put down the second one here, but probably not a ward they expect to last very long there. It's just any vision, temporary vision is just fine for him.
Tinker is still scouting out this Roche pit. They see
This
the
is
little
almost a
Alpha Wolf
max
here.
duration respawn.
That Alpha Wolf, the extra bonus buff from Helm of the Dominator. Is it a helm? It's got to be a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a helm.
The troll.
Alpha Wolf, but yeah, unfortunately they're not going to see the Roche not popped up. It's a long clock on this one.
And
step
EGM
back.
did complete the Mjolnir. We'll see him get a lot of extra damage out of this, but the refresher is going to come much later on now, as he just spent like 2,500 or so to complete this.
Oh boy, smoked up. There we go, jump in
Oh,
potato.
doesn't get the tide.
It's just for an AA. Yeah, not going to be able to catch that, the target he wanted for, but now they go right to the north. Qualifier steps back, GoDz catches very nicely, and he starts to unload here, but it's not going to be enough. Jumping in from above, the Ravage, the first one connects, he goes right back to that high ground, and it's a bit of footsie play. Bulba barely escapes.
Yeah, this
but,
is where Sing Sing will be looking for these pickoffs, though.
Holy moly, no one goes down.
Yeah, just the AA in the Chronosphere.
Oh yeah, an AA. Get
That
the
was,
grab.
I mean, that was the solo
certainly what they
Chronosphere.
wanted.
The tide was behind him. Void didn't obviously see the tide on the high ground, but he was hoping that maybe a +1 would get caught with the AA there, but once they've used the Chronosphere, they have very few ways to secure kills. The Lion Finger of Death isn't quite as potent as it once was. You're definitely not using that to secure kills on someone like a Medusa, so it's hard for Alliance to fight outside of the Chronosphere, and that's where I think Alliance just play a slow pace, let's get EGM refresher, or even give up Roshan right now, because Qualifier, with a completed butterfly, he's almost 6-slotted. But no, they want to contest this one.
Look at this Harpy.
1k HP. Break the Lincolns. Break the Lincolns. He could have broken it.
Dancing here. There's the jump, and Loda's ready to make it happen. And so is EGM. He goes no chrono, and look at this. The high ground tide. He's going to be stuck up there. He's able to force down, but the Ravage still connects very nicely. They blow up EGM, who buys back immediately. Loda going to fall as well. They both buy back. Now, Sing with a triple. Team Tinker immediately pull back, and they want to get this Roche quickly before they show back up, but they are already so damn close.
Oh, there's a Chronosphere, though. This is very risky. If you catch Sing and Qualifier in the Chronosphere, he's not going to go into the Roshan pit. He goes to the other two, still has the Chronosphere, but Roshan is going to go down in the meantime. No Chronosphere comes out just yet. EGM holds onto, will hit the 2-hero Chronosphere, gets the kill onto the Ember Spirit, but he's got Aegis, and Quakefir's not going down. He's got the evasion. They lose a Void. It's a dieback. My Nuts now gets taken out, and this is going from bad to worse for Alliance now. After using multiple buybacks, they can't even take Roshan for themselves.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they were hoping for here. Ake could be in trouble. Is going to be able to TP out. Man, that was close, but this is, mind you, that was a dieback there for EGM. Loda already on his buyback, and they lose a lot at that one. So maybe they were thinking they can go in, make a contention. If they go down, okay, we'll have a buyback play, but we should have Chrono by then. But
yeah, they definitely could. Void just didn't know they were finishing off Roshan. Like, he went to fight the AA while the Medusa and Ember Spirit finished Roshan. If he went in, Chronosphere, those two heroes in Roshan, kills the Ember Spirit, gets Aegis for himself, Alliance come out on top, but he just doesn't have the vision or information that he needed to know exactly what the Medusa and Ember Spirit were doing there.
this Medusa's like taking no damage with that butterfly and already all the stats that Qualifier has. You just saw it. It looked like EGM was swinging a Nerf bat at her. Just, what are you doing? Why even bother?
He could get an MKB to do with the evasion, but I feel even then he's still not doing enough damage, even bypassing the evasion. I think the refresher is just the way to go. But I mean, neither of those items coming anytime soon. He's got no farm after using that buyback and dying twice in that fight.
Good jump in pick right there to take down way two, but it is just an AA grab. Alliance will just take what they can and looking to go for a bounce back play here. They lose that Roche. Aegis was already taken down, which is good for Alliance, but still. They fall in that fight. Tinker gets so much out of it. I mean, already Qualifier, who has so much. It's Sing Sing who gets most of those kills, and see where he decides to invest in. He did lose a lot of gold earlier from his, buy back and get back in, but he's got 2.8k now.
Well, it feels like Alliance have kind of just hit that brick wall now, and the brick wall being the Medusa. They can't really take objectives anymore. They've got all their tier 2 towers. That's the crazy thing here. 50 minutes in, Tinker have only taken tier 1 towers, but I just don't really see Alliance being able to break the base at the moment. They just haven't quite got the items they need, but they feel like they haven't got many other plays, so it looks like they may go for it. They've already dealt with the Aegis on Sing Sing, and just having the one life here. gonna make things more difficult. I love the Skadi pickup for Sing Sing though. Having the slow that goes through the BKB, very useful, especially against the Troll Warlord.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, that Troll BKB is already down to 5 seconds. It's a flimsy BKB already, but makes it that much more crucial to get the most out of it. Alliance maybe feeling like they need to get a lot done here, even though Tinker have yet to kind of take any tier 2. Just with the swell of damage coming their way, it wouldn't take that long to just kind of siege through these towers and put themselves right into the base. So
yeah.
I feel like the pressure is definitely on Alliance in this one.
Yeah. Well, Alliance is going to just play the fallback and farm, which at this point Medusa's got 1 item slot left, so I guess in theory does get that a tiny bit scarier, but doesn't get much more unkillable. It's actually just going to probably go for a damage item and then start dishing out some real damage in team fights.
Way too with his aggressive ward plays. Again, finds one right up over here, but we'll see what they can do with it. EGM continues to farm up. We'll see if he's able to throw together the funds to not only reserve a bit for buyback, but I guess try to get an MKB for himself. It seems like something down the line that's just a bit of a dream for now.
And Alliance are kind of grouping up as 4, creating space for the Void to farm. They really are prioritizing the Void's item progression right now. I feel like if he can get to like a refresher MKB status, that's 2 big items. With right now he's got just 2.4k gold, so that's not till 60 minutes plus. But if they can get there without losing any Raxes, without losing any bad team fights, maybe they have to give Tinker another Aegis and Cheese. That's going to be the key for me though. Void getting refresher as well as MKB. That's the only way I think they can deal with this Medusa late game.
She's about to have an MKB, it looks like, herself. With this double javelin on the courier.
Yep.
And obviously holding a bit of that for the buyback. At that point, she's pretty much 6-slotted, with maybe the exception of upgrading those shoes. But maybe then the 5-step program will be complete. And Team Tinker will just know that it's their time.
Well, Tinker with deep observable. I mean, Tinker's vision right now looking very troublesome. That's where Alliance, it's pretty clear to Tinker they wanted to sit back, farm, and Tinker want to punish that by finding pickoffs and not even going for pushes necessary. I think just getting pickoffs right now, and especially if they can get the Void, but even just like an Invoker or a Troll kill with these Observer Wards would be a nice little game for them.
Aka even has a gem walk past that ward, but can't see up there, unfortunately, so not going to be able to even de-ward that nice aggressive ward.
Here's the MKB, so Medusa.
Oh, jump lane, top, they go for Sing Sing here, the finger burst, EMP, they're throwing everything out, but he's still able to BKB and get the hell out of there. Oh.
Didn't go for the Chronosphere, but maybe just...
Is a BKB popped, but...
Yeah. Probably worried he'd just survive through the Chronosphere, to be honest, with the Skadi and all, but... We'll see EGM continue to farm. At this point, you force out the BKB. It's down to 7 seconds now, and force him back to heal, so you can create that little bit more space to keep on farming right now. And the good news is they killed the Aegis right after Roshan was taken, so it's a long wait for Tinker before the next Roshan comes up.
That timid play just continues here as we get ready to approach 54 minutes. I knew this game was probably going to be going pretty long if Alliance couldn't get the job done there. Well, they've made that assault down the mid lane, but here we are warming up for a
Scythe of
secure
Vice coming
state.
his way. We're going to see some Hex action for the Troll. He's got the money for it, but he also probably wants to have the money for a buyback. Although with that said, he's actually short buyback anyways. And yeah, he's going to just buy the Hex. I mean, they're not thinking they want to take a fight anyways. Might Nuts will actually tank the smoke gank. Doesn't even get caught out. He reveals the smoke and blinks away. Nicely played there. They should have a pretty good idea that this is a 5-man Tinker squad at top lane, but it seems they want to fight.
Just would try to hope that he would be there. Loda jumps forward. He actually pops BKB to go for Bulba. And trying to burst it. Look who's coming in from behind. Koiko pops the Stone Gaze. Ravage is going to connect very nicely. And Team Tinker taking this back, but here comes EGM. Chrono catches on 2. They're able to finish out Ogre, but they don't have enough. And it looks like EGM's going to be forced to hide out. Loda is already down and out. No buyback for him because of that sheepstick grab. And I think now with Koikfa, I mean, you wouldn't even think he was in a battle. He's still full and fresh. He'll just waltz himself down from the north here and go right for the tier 2. Though they do scout out, looks like here, EGM. They're just going to keep pushing down in. And that's not looking good for Alliance.
They may cancel his TP. He's going to the shop to buy a TP, but there's a ward here.
Oh, no.
He's got BKB. He needs to just like BKB TP.
I want no TP.
Oh, it's a cooldown though. This is actually really bad for him. He's gonna go down. Has got buyback, but he needs this money. He needs items right now. He can't be affording to buy back, and he may be forced to. That pick. That
no chrono. When he
who would have
comes back
thought
either.
this is the observer ward? This observer ward here, casually in the top lane, could get you such a big advantage.
Here we go. Tinker, for the first time this game, are going to go on their own. High ground assault and KotLGuy. The Queen, fully 6-slotted, and here we go. Woodbot coming out side by side with Sing. They're going to immediately step back from the EMP, but got to be feeling very confident at this point. They still got 45 seconds before Troll's even going to be on this living Dota Earth. And
that Hex getting rid of his buyback money, and the Hex didn't even pay off. Went in on ball, but couldn't even kill him in the Hex. He stayed alive so long and only ended up dying because of a Chronosphere. So a lot of money invested in all these items, and the Yoga Magi still just kept himself alive. Here's the buyback from Void, and Tinker will back off for the time being. Play things safe, wait for some Ravages probably to come back up, and just be happy that they've forced out that buyback, because EGM's back to 2k gold. We have not seen an item pick up for him for quite some time, following multiple buybacks in the last 10 minutes. Sing now still hasn't featured that data list. He's been going for all these other items as opposed to leveling up. And I mean, I think the Skadi, we've seen it pay for itself with the extra survivability it gives him. The Skadi slow working against the BKB heroes in these team fights. Medusa buying gems for team. This is where Medusa just buys all the wards, all the gems, everything you can need, because you're 6-slotted if you're KotLGuy, and maybe you go for that like 7th item refresher so you can refresh the Stone Gaze on the Courier, refresh your Manta Style, your Boots of Travel, but for the most part, KotLGuy is just going to be doing what he can to help out the team. Well, we'll see a play now made towards the Roshan pit here. As the Ravage comes out, catches through, there's a Refresher as well, and Alliance do not get off a single BKB. EGM's going to go down before he can use a Chronosphere. 3 dead now, and this is looking like possibly the 5-man push to end all 5-man pushes coming out. They're going to take out Roshan first. Aegis and Cheese looking to be claimed. And with that in hand, I don't think Tinker can be stopped. They go down whatever lane they want. They can go straight for the throne. They can go for 2, 3 lanes of Raxes. Alliance are just running out of options. He has 75 seconds on your Void before he's back. He's got a 5-minute cooldown on the buyback. Invoker's not really offering enough. Sure, he's maybe going to have a Scythe of Vice soon to go with the Troll Scythe of Vice, but Lockdown doesn't seem to be the problem. It's just having the damage, killing off the Medusa, killing anyone. We saw the Yoga stay alive as long as he did in previous fights, and KotLGuy just mocking with them, spamming that mana shield here in the front lines, and Tier 2 will go down, and they're not going to stop there. That I guarantee.
The window of opportunity for Alliance is already passed. With that siege down mid lane, they could get a lot out of it. Now it's desperation mode, but Tinker's already not.
Well,
Pocket at the bottom door of their base. KotLGuy continues to reign the terror here, going right for the tier 3.
Loda's going for the base trade. I like this move though.
He's no mad at it, but they blink forward. Now Nikwa. Look at Loda, man. Yeah, he's going right in from behind.
They kill Sing Sing. That's a big pickoff, even if he does have buyback here. Just buy time for your Void respawn. Meanwhile, they're trying to take 2 lanes of Raxes with Loda. He'll blink out too, so he's not even going to get punished for this. What a play from Loda. Bottom lane, meanwhile. Medusa now going to pop the Stone Gaze, get 2 kills on her own. And to the high ground we go. Void back in 3 seconds. This is it. Loda going to get multicasted times 3, times another 2. The lockdown is real. Loda needs to BKB and BKB soon. Where's that Chronosphere? EGM comes, but it's too late. Loda's already dead. Well, buyback instantly. Sing Sing's died. Once he may die a second time. The Skadi giving him some extra survivability, but he's dead. 2 minutes on the side lane. KotLGuy, though, what's the answer to the Medusa? And Medusa right now just seems to be balling out of control. Nothing left damage-wise to kill him off. And, oh, Void dead in the fountain to the AA Ice Blast.
Go, Loda though. Yep, caught out, taken down. That's got to be it, man.
12k gold
Good
for
grab.
KotLGuy. It's a godlike streak. That's going to end things here, it feels like, in game 1.
Good heads-up play from Loda to try to go with that base trade, and they looked very promising, but it's Medusa after all, and after they make their siege happen, they get the job done. It looks like a long, exhausting hour. Game number 1 is just a best of a best of 3, but looks like Tinker are going to be able to get the first win.
Well, This BO3, with the way these teams are playing, with the tension that's there, we could be looking at a long 3-game series right now. Definitely, Alliance had their openings this game to take it, I feel.
All right, so pretty close match regardless. So we'll have to see what it really comes down to. Looks like just Tinker. They're happy to stall things out. Wait. Well, Alliance had a nice promising early game. Eventually, they just get their Medusa significantly farmed, and with EGM not quite able to build up the farm to really aid Loda with maybe an extra MKB, there was just nothing they could really do for the Medusa. That's all
Well,
it takes.
guys, you guys are listening to KotLGuy and GoDz. We're bringing you the Europe qualifiers for the Dota 2 Asia Championship. Stick around. Game 2 of this best of 3 series between Tinker as well as Alliance coming up after a quick break.